Peter FITZSIMONS Last updated 1618. The 16th of August 2018. PHIL REID, The Wallabies celebrate a rare victory in Wellington in 2000 during the golden days of the Bledisloe Cup rivalry. Bernard Foley not falling for abs mind games. All Blacks team for first Bledisloe Cup test. Mark Kolbе, Getty Images. The Wallabies could do worse than get the ball in the hands of star fullback Israel Folau as often as possible. Rugby Opinion, it's happening on Saturday. Two great rugby teams, with an extraordinary history of riveting rivalry between them. A ravenous crowd piling into the stadium, wearing their team colours. The whole lot of them roaring themselves hoarse as their chosen warriors fight for their lives. I refer of course to the Manly Marlins vs Warringah Rats match in the Shute Shield, down at Rat Park, where they are expecting upwards of 15,000 punters paying about $10 a pop to get in. Oh, and there will also be the Wallabies vs All Blacks Bledisloe Cup match, later that evening at the Olympic Stadium. They also have a great rivalry, but far from expecting the sold-out crowds of yore. These days, if it is not a record low, it will be well received. Redmore, Hodge gets the nod for Wallabies, good you a safe bet for All Blacks, Tungafisi out of Bledisloe test, Naholo, good you get abs starts, Wallabies are as skillful as ABs, Foley, All Blacks can be stopped, and so, you see, the contrast is remarkable. Just 15 years ago, club rugby was, as we say in the trade, on the bones of its ass, while professional rugby was sweeping all before it. Bledisloe matches were sold out as a matter of course, and Waratahs matches pulled 30,000 to 40,000, as opposed to the 10 or 12,000 now. Back then club rugby, meantime, was so starved of support that when I called up one of my old clubs, Eastwood, to ask what time their match against Parramatta was on, the secretary asked me, "What time can you get here?" Rugby league seems to have gone through a similar process in recent times, with the strongest crowds turning up to local grounds, while they have been steering away from cavernous stadiums where all the one rabid fan cheering can hear in response is an echo. Add feedback. Have a look at the league on the telly this weekend. If the backdrop is a whole bunch of league nutters cheering wildly as the wing dives over in the corner, you can bet it is a match at Kogarah, Brookie, Shark Park, Lake Hart or the like. If it is a whole lot of empty seats, with a few scattered brave souls here and there, my pound to your peanut says it will be being held at the SFS or Homebush. Why is it so, Julius? I thought you'd never ask. My theory is that it goes with the times. Yes, we are living in an age where we take it for granted that we should be able to watch whoever we want, whenever we want to, even if our teams are playing on the opposite side of the planet. And yes, sport has never been more professional nor more commercial than now, with every moving part covered with logos, every player prepared to within an inch of his life, and all of it available to watch in full living color from 16 angles, either at the ground or at home, as you like. But in terms of pure enjoyment for the fans, how many think that the enjoyment in the stands has matched the growing abilities on the field? How many think the sporting experience is better now than it was then? The growing conclusion seems to be it is not even close. In rugby, a growing hunger for the sheer tribalism of days gone by is apparent. We remember fondly when the joy of the game was to see butchers, bakers and candlestick makers line up against tinkers, tailors, soldiers and spies. Club rugby feeds that hunger, helped by the fact that it is now on that Channel 7 digital channel, where it producing record rugby ratings for the Shute Shield. The growing popularity of the club game in Sydney seems to be because the grassroots outfits can't support a marketing department, and don't deal with consumers, or stakeholders, or demographics. Instead, they're a community backing our blokes, and they're getting that vibe, unvarnished, onto free-to-air. Simple as that, and the people have responded accordingly. The other factor is when you go to see local matches, at least half the punters go home happy with a big win to their side. What will really help the Wallabies on Saturday night to resuscitate the professional game, stop the presses, is a win. 16 solid years of series losses is a hard sell in any game, as if the fundamental attraction of the action is suspense as to what is going to happen, people will inevitably drift away when they feel like they already know the result. Cue the two Australians in the deepest outback last year, west of Uluru, with no radio, no TV and no internet. One bloke says to the other, "The Wallabies have just lost the second test." "How do you know?" asks his mate. "It just gone 9:30 p.m, says the first. "As it happens, for this test, we can at least live in hope." After all, as if you could forget, the Wallabies actually won the third Bledisloe test last year, breaking a long-time drought. If nothing else, it demonstrated that the brute New Zealanders can be beaten, and our blokes simply need to remember this time, what they did last time. I seem to recall it was tackling themselves red raw and, if in doubt in attack, giving the ball to Aussie on the fly. For me, that sounds like a plan this time. That's maybe because that is the way we used to do it, it was just the idea was to get it to Campo. Anywho, you get the drift. The times have changed so much, everything that's old is new again, and treasured. These days, the strength of football is local, and it is for the people who run the professional game to learn from the yokels. Sydney Morning Herald.